Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Pace Studio in New York City. We're here with Yasmine Hamdan, and this is part of our Bands Without Borders series, which is a cool, fairly new initiative in which we get to talk about current social and political issues with musicians, especially those who are not from the US. So, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Well, let's talk to you a little bit first. You were born in Beirut, but you live in Paris now. Can you give us a little bit of information about your story?
I lived in many places actually. I lived in Beirut, the Gulf countries, Greece, and now Paris. So I've been moving around.
And you said you've lived in Paris for 12 years now.
Yeah, I live in Paris. I travel a lot still with my work. Yeah, it's a bit normal. I'm a post-war generation, so I was born in the middle of civil war in Lebanon. So we kind of moved from a country to another because my father was working in different countries as a civil engineer. So yeah, and then I ended up in Paris because I really wanted to be there. I studied in French.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and so it made sense to go and live there.
You sing in Arabic, though. Why is that? Rather than French.
Well, first, Arabic is my emotional language, and it's much more interesting, much more challenging, and yeah, I just feel that I'm more true to myself, and it's more unique in a way. I started doing that, a long time ago, like end of the 90s, 2000, with my previous band, first band, Soap Kills. So yeah, it just hit me that something needed to be, made with this. It's kind of a tool. It's a very interesting tool because many things haven't been done and experimented with. So that was for me the challenge or the exciting part, and in a way it was kind of a statement too because I wanted to sing in Arabic, but to sing in Arabic my way, not a kind of traditional or conventional or classical way. So it was very exciting. As an artist, it's very inspiring to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Well, what's the first song you're going to play for us today?
The first song is called Café. So first I would like to introduce my band.
Please.
So Cédric Leron on the guitar, Loïc Morin on the drum, and Makong Min Pham on the keyboards. And yeah.
Great. Welcome, everyone. you. So you have a new album out, or at
Yes.
least it has already been released internationally and will be out in the US at the end of the month.
Yeah, I think March 31 on EVCAC.
Excellent.
Yes, she's
Tell
great.
us about the new record.
It's a bit a crazy adventure. I recorded part of it in New York,
Welcome back.
and yes, with amazing artists like Steve Shelley, Shazad Ismaili, Magali Sharon. And then I went back to Paris and I edited a lot and I recorded some stuff there. And I went to Beirut and recorded some other stuff. And I finished it in London with two producers, Leo Abraham and Luke Smith. So it was kind of I would say it's an album of me, kind of me getting with amazing artists and, working on this in this very free, borderless environment in a way. So you have a lot of textures that come from different worlds and meet in some of the songs, and I wanted something very modern, and also I wanted to use a lot of local instruments and a lot of kind of more more guitar or electronic textures in the songs. So yeah, it was just a fun adventure.
Great. What were some of the local instruments that you used?
There's a grumpy bouzouki in one of the songs. I would say drum, like percussions, some Tuareg guitars,
Cool.
some violins with melodies. I'm really in love with old music, old Arabic music. I kind of collect a lot of that, and I wanted to have in some of the songs some things, some melodies inspired by violence from the 20s and the 30s, and I love also Indian, Pakistani, Chinese music. So in a way, some of the textures are, I listen to Sudani music, Iraqi, etc. So I wanted to bring together some textures. There are grooves that come from Kuwait. I lived in the Gulf, so I'm kind of inspired by the grooves. It's kind of camel grooves. And some Iraqi grooves too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How did you discover electronic music growing up? As you had mentioned earlier, there wasn't really a scene where you grew up, and some of your previous touring experiences were quite interesting. So why did electronic music resonate with you, and how did you find it in the first place?
I wouldn't say that it's only electronic. I just discovered, artists, and through artists, I kind of discovered my own desires and what I wanted to do in music. It was really about listening and hearing. So randomly, friends, and the first time when I started doing music, I was in school and I had no idea what to listen to because I had some culture, like musical culture, but it was kind of very limited. And when I lived in some Gulf countries, I had no access to any kind of like music that was around. So I had to catch up. So I became like I had a bulimia of listening to a lot of songs and doing that. Yeah, it's just I started listening to hard rock music and psychedelic music, because a friend of mine was a DJ in a hard rock radio station, and
Awesome.
the radio station closed, and he's just, oh, you want to learn music? So here's the box with all those cassettes. So I listened to, forgot their name now, like weird things, but then I started discovering other artists, and then I fell into old Arabic music, and that was a really intense connection. And this is when I felt that there's something really edgy and interesting to do, and that a lot of really old Arabic music is extremely edgy, and that it's very inspiring. And this is what I wanted to do in a way was to get inspiration from that, and sing in Arabic. And I didn't know how to sing in Arabic really because it's a very coded music. So I had to learn but I did it my way. So in the beginning, I think I started singing like a punk singer, Arabic, like was like singing, whoa. People would be like, is this Arabic? But then, yeah, then I found people, I listened to a lot and I practiced. And yeah, it's just, I sing Arabic now.
Well, and now it truly sounds like your own work.
Yes.
What's the next song you're going to play
The
for us
next
today?
song is called Chubi. So Chubi is like an Iraqi rhythm. It's an Iraqi music actually from the 80s. It's very sexy. If you type Chubi Chubi on internet, you will find really nice, sounds. And this is inspired by the rhythm. So when we worked in the studio with the British producers, it became a little bit, I would say, like a third generation immigrant, because it became like blonde with blue eyes, but still Iraqi, from origins. So it's an Iraqi groove, but with a lot of influences and many worlds coming together in it.
Amazing. Whenever you guys are ready.
يا محمود يا موهوب لمسة ايدك تشغلني اخر نظرة مالك ده بحر مش عيوني ليك لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه يا قاسي يا ناسي وعدك ليه ما توعدنيش حق عليا مكتفة ايديا متأملة لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه لازم فرحان مبسوط بزحمة الستات عليك كوني ضحية من ضحايا اسود قلبك ليه
I'll have to check out that type of Iraqi music.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Well, you have one more song for us today. Is that correct?
It's called Izal.
What can you tell us about that track?
It's a very drama queen person. So it's the lyrics are a little bit intense. This person is a kind of being naggy about her personality. So it's more like a trip of a very feminine, like maybe a PMS, pre-PMS, feeling like when everything is too much. So it's a little bit,
Yes.
that's a little bit, but it's very soft though. It's very sweet, but then the lyrics are a little bit more spicy.
Excellent.
إذا زعلت زيادة، إذا ندمت زيادة، كل الجمعة موترة، إذا حد زيادة، إذا خربت زيادة، كل الجمعة موترة. شربت زيادة، إذا خربت زيادة، كل الجمعة موترة، إذا حد زيادة، إذا ندمت زيادة، كل الجمعة موترة.
was going to ask you a much harder question about current political situations here in the US and France, and especially considering your background of where you came from. And then I saw that all of the Facebook comments on this live stream, everyone is from all over the world. There are comments from Japan, from Australia, from North Africa, from Europe, from all across the US. And that's just incredible to me. And so I thought I would end this on a much more positive and inclusive note and ask your opinion on why you think music is such an important tool to help cross geographic and cultural borders.
I think it's universal. I mean, if I talk about myself, I don't need to understand the lyric in order to get the emotion. And it's a very, very important, it's like a breathing part of humanity in a way, because music, is always in movement. So if you listen, for example, to Sudani music and to Chinese music, they use, similar modes. And if you listen to old Arabic music from the 20s and Indian music, they use similar, also it resembles. So what's really interesting is where people meet. It's like pockets where people can meet and in a way resist certain, I would say loss of identity or identity crisis, or what we are living today, like a global trend of, people wanting to just close borders and, be close to the other. And so it's an environment where you can really develop as a human being and also as a person and become more sensitive and learn more about other worlds. And it's so important. So as for me, it's like it saved my life in a way. Yeah.
Totally. Well, thank you so much for being here, for chatting with us, and
guys.
performing. It sounded great.
Thank you.